Think about the sheer power held within the pages of a book.
Mm-hmm.
These carefully arranged words have the potential to, well, reshape how we see the world, maybe even alter the course of our lives. It's a pretty remarkable thought, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's fascinating to consider the sheer variety of books that can trigger such profound changes in different people.
Right.
For this deep dive, we've pulled together a really compelling set of sources. We're looking at personal accounts, of life-altering reads,
Okay.
the favorite books of some, well, incredibly successful people, and even some research looking into the psychological impact reading can have.
Exactly. We've got an Upworthy article where readers shared the books that, significantly impacted them,
Yeah.
and a lively Reddit thread where people talked about the most profound books they've read.
Always interesting reads, those threads.
Definitely. And then we get into articles with recommendations from leaders like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, the heads of Shopify and Spotify.
It's a real mix.
A real mix of genres and viewpoints, yeah. All
Yeah.
pointing to this influence of books.
And our goal here, I think, is to really understand what it is about these different reading experiences that leads to such deep personal impact, based on these sources.
See if there are common threads.
Common threads, maybe some surprising, unique angles, yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this. Maybe start with those books Upworthy readers called life-changing.
Good place to start.
Leading the pack was Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom.
Ah, yeah, classic.
One reader called it deeply heartwarming, inspirational, said it prompted a big reevaluation of their priorities. Sounds like a book that really gets you thinking about what truly matters.
It does. And what's powerful there is how a personal story, like those conversations between Maury and Mitch Albom, can resonate so deeply and really encourage that kind of self-reflection.
Right.
The reader mentioning that shift in priorities, it suggests the book offered like a new lens to see their own values, how they were spending their time.
Makes you wonder what specific bits of wisdom really hit home.
Exactly.
Following that, Untamed by Glennon Doyle.
Okay.
The reaction to this one on Upworthy was, wow, incredibly strong.
Really?
Yeah. One reader said by page 16 they'd felt like a whole range of emotions and fundamentally reconsidered who they were, how they were living.
Wow, page 16, that's fast.
Right. That's a testament to a book's power to just shake things up.
It truly is. Books like memoirs or, those focused on personal growth, they can act as catalysts for these big emotional, even existential shifts. The reader saying they felt lit on fire, that speaks to a book igniting a real desire for change, maybe a different way of approaching life.
You have to wonder what insights in the book sparked that kind of reaction.
Definitely.
Next up from Upworthy, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. This one comes up a lot in these discussions.
It really does. A foundational text for many.
One reader called it a poignant exploration of resilience under the most extreme conditions, obviously referring to Frankl's Holocaust survival.
Right.
And they highlighted logotherapy, this idea that finding meaning is our fundamental drive. Another reader just said it fundamentally changes how you think about life, happiness, meaning. Full stop.
And what's so significant about Frankl's book, I think, is that direct link it draws between just unimaginable suffering and the human need for purpose.
Yeah.
Logotherapy, his core argument, says that even when facing total despair, finding meaning gives you resilience.
A path forward.
Exactly. And the fact that multiple Upworthy readers cited its profound impact on how they think about life, it just shows its universal power, its relevance.
Definitely. The final Upworthy pick we'll highlight is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer.
Okay.
One reader mentioned finding it through TikTok, interestingly enough.
Oh, wow.
He described it as key in their journey of self-discovery.
It's interesting how discovery happens now, isn't it? TikTok leading to that kind of book.
Yeah, different platforms, but the same search, maybe?
It seems so. It underscores this ongoing human desire for self-understanding, and books are still central to that, even if you find them scrolling social media.
Even a brief comment like that suggests a pretty big personal impact.
Absolutely.
And it's striking, how these Upworthy picks focusing on personal growth, meaning emotional connection, really echoed what people shared on Reddit too.
Yeah, that Reddit thread, what books have made a profound impact on your life, it hit a lot of the same notes. Notably, several Reddit users also specifically mentioned Man's Search for Meaning.
Ah, interesting.
And The Little Prince as well. So you see this clear convergence on certain titles across different communities.
Right. We also had a Reddit user talk about Eric Maria Remarque's All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, powerful book.
And how it gave them this really visceral understanding of war's impact, leading to a big shift in perspective.
That's a different kind of impact, isn't it? Not self-help, but empathy, understanding history.
Ye-
That's a crucial distinction. Literature, fiction, or nonfiction, it transports us to different times, different
There's
experiences,
empathy.
builds empathy, broadens our understanding of, the human condition. All Quiet does that by immersing you in the brutal reality of war from a soldier's view. It's powerful, often disturbing.
Yeah. Another Reddit user brought up the breadwinner.
Okay.
Said it really opened their eyes to their own privilege and the very different lives of girls in other societies.
That highlights how books can foster social awareness, right? A bigger understanding of global issues.
Definitely.
Stories that vividly show diverse realities, they can challenge our assumptions, promote a deeper understanding of inequality, different experiences worldwide.
A tool for building empathy, like you said.
Yeah.
Global citizenship, almost.
Precisely.
And let's not forget the Reddit user who found Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle impactful
Ah, Vana.
for its unique take on human interaction.
Hmm.
So books can also shape our personal philosophies, how we see relationships.
Oh, absolutely. Vonnegut was a master at using satire, dark humor, to poke at big philosophical questions about humanity, belief systems, the absurdity of it all sometimes.
Hmm.
The fact Cat's Cradle hit someone that way shows how fiction can provoke thought, shape your worldview in really unexpected ways.
Okay, so shifting gears a little bit. It's fascinating to look at the books that resonated with, well, really successful people.
Right, the leaders, the innovators.
That 30 book recommendations from the world's most successful people article had some great insights.
It did. Like Toby Litke, Shopify CEO, he recommended The Courage to be Disliked.
Okay, what's the focus there?
He emphasized its focus on self-determination, freeing yourself from past trauma, other people's expectations. He called it fascinating, the best book he'd read in years.
Sounds like a framework for taking control.
Very much so.
Yeah.
He also mentioned high output management.
More practical.
Yeah, said it was foundational for his business journey, especially early on with Shopify when he didn't have a traditional business background.
Shows how those practical how-to books can have a huge impact professionally.
Indeed. It highlights that books offer philosophical insights and very practical guidance for specific challenges like building a company, targeted knowledge.
Right. Then there's Dolly Parton.
Mm,
It's a favorite. The little engine that could.
really? That's lovely.
And she apparently actively uses its message, I think I can, to overcome apprehension. Even now.
Wow.
It's a children's book, seemingly simple, but that core message of self-belief, positive thinking, clearly it has lasting power.
That's a wonderful example. Even simple narratives can instill these powerful, enduring lessons about perseverance, positive self-talk. The repetition probably helps.
Yeah, I think so too. Daniel Ek, Spotify founder,
Okay.
recommends black box thinking, advocates for openly acknowledging learning from failures.
Ah, the growth mindset idea.
Exactly. He said he's literally integrated that approach into his daily problem solving.
That's a strong testament, isn't it? Taking principles from a book and applying them directly to your work, your decisions.
Especially in tech, where you have to adapt.
Absolutely. It speaks to its practical utility in a fast-moving environment.
Ek also mentioned raising girls.
Oh, interesting.
Said it was helpful in understanding his daughter's development, how to nurture their potential. It's interesting seeing leaders value books on parenting, personal life.
It reflects a more holistic view, doesn't it? Where personal and family well-being are part of overall success. Suggests they see the importance of continuous learning in all areas.
Yeah. Melanie Perkins, Canva CEO, recommends Designing the Obvious.
Okay, title sounds relevant.
Right. For its insights on creating intuitive user experiences. She credits it with changing how she approaches online interface development.
Makes sense. That shows how books can directly influence business strategy, product design, especially in tech where user experience is everything.
Warren Buffett famously reads a ton called Phil Knight's memoir, Shoe Dog, the best book I read last year back in 2016.
Wow, high praise from Buffett.
Incredible praise. What do you think made it stand out for him?
Well, Shoe Dog is a very personal, candid look at building Nike, full of challenges, setbacks, ultimate success, the entrepreneurial journey. Exactly. Buffett's enthusiasm probably points to a compelling story with valuable, relatable lessons in entrepreneurship, perseverance, building something from scratch.
Right. Melinda Gates mentioned rereading Rules of Civility multiple times.
Yeah.
Loves its immersive feel of 1930s Manhattan. Amor Towles writing.
That highlights the power of fiction to just transport you, doesn't it? Provide aesthetic pleasure, a deeper feel for a different time.
Yeah, sometimes that's the impact of the experience itself.
Exactly.
And Tara Westover, author of Educated.
Powerful memoir itself.
She recommends Jeanette Winterson's
Yeah.
Why Be Happy When You Could Be Normal
Ah.
for how it explores self-acceptance despite family disapproval. Clearly resonated with Westover's own experiences.
That really shows the unique connection memoirs can create. Readers connecting with authors who've navigated similar difficult paths.
A sense of validation, shared experience.
Mm-hmm. Hope, maybe.
Okay, moving on to Bill Gates specifically. The articles about his favorite books, his reading habits, they really paint a picture.
Yeah, a picture of intense intellectual curiosity and a strong focus on understanding how to improve the world.
Right. That article, the only 4 books Bill Gates has rated 5 stars. It emphasizes how these picks align closely with his philanthropic work.
He clearly prioritizes understanding global challenges and progress being made.
So those 4 5-star books, Enlightenment Now by Steven Pinker.
Championing progress, yeah.
Tara Westover's Educated, which he hugely admired for her resilience, her learning ability. Factfulness by Hans Rosling.
Challenging misconceptions with data.
And Melinda Gates' book, The Moment of Lift, focusing on empowering women globally.
It's the breadth that's notable, isn't it? Large-scale history, individual resilience, rigorous data analysis, gender equality.
Yeah.
His selections show this deep, active engagement with the world's big problems. That example he uses from Enlightenment Now about laundry time.
Oh yeah, the reduction in time spent.
It's a great illustration of how we often overlook how much life has improved in concrete ways.
And his broader recommendations show that range too. Sapiens, The Power to Compete, The Vital Question, Business Adventures.
Human history, economics, evolution, classic business stories. His interests are wide.
His reading habits really underscore that. Seeking knowledge across diverse subjects, wanting to understand the world, make it better.
And that detail about these books sparking family dinner discussions,
Right.
it brings it to life, doesn't it? Reading not just as a personal thing, but a catalyst for shared learning in a family.
Okay, finally, let's look at the top billionaires' favorite books article. Gives us a glimpse into the diverse tastes of other highly successful people.
Yeah, and this list really reinforces that there's no single type of book that's the key. It's a huge array of influential titles.
Right. Warren Buffett, again, you'd expect The Intelligent Investor, Security Analysis,
Foundational investing texts.
but he also strongly recommends How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Interesting combo.
Highlighting the importance of interpersonal skills, always.
That blend of rigorous analysis and understanding people seems key to his success.
Then Elon Musk. He favors biographies. Benjamin Franklin, Howard Hughes, Tesla, inventor of the electrical age.
Clearly reflects his interest in innovators, entrepreneurs, boundary pushers.
Seems like he wants to understand their journeys, their mindsets.
Learning from other visionaries.
Charlie Munger, Buffett's partner, emphasizes influence, the psychology of persuasion.
Fits perfectly with his reputation for rational thinking, understanding the psychology behind decisions.
Steve Jobs, quite a mix. Abstract thinking with Atlas Shrugged, but also spiritual books like Be Here Now, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, and business strategy with Only the Paranoid Survive.
Fascinating blend. Big picture philosophy, inner reflection, sharp business focus.
Jeff Bezos, interestingly, has said he learned more about business from novels than nonfiction.
Really?
Yeah, The Remains of the Day is a favorite, though he also recommends The Effective Executive and The Black Swan.
His point about novels giving nuanced insights into human nature, motivation, that's really interesting. Maybe more valuable than direct business lessons sometimes.
Yeah. Peter Thiel leans more philosophical. René Girard's Things Hidden Since the Foundation of the World. Even fiction like The New Atlantis.
Reflects his interest in deep societal structures, future possibilities, a more philosophical, maybe contrarian view.
Charles Koch, predictably, recommends his own The Science of Success and classical economics like The Wealth of Nations.
Aligns with his focus on free market principles, business theory.
And Larry Page from Google appreciates Richard Feynman's work, What Do You Care What Other People Think? QED.
Shows a value for clear, independent thinking, making complex ideas accessible. Curiosity, rigor.
This incredible range really hammers home how personal the experience of reading and being influenced by books truly is.
Absolutely.
But let's also look at the science behind how reading affects us. That research paper, Understanding the Influence of Reading on Personality.
Right. That offers some fascinating insights into the psychological mechanisms.
It looked at the subjective impact of reading on personality traits, using the Big Five model.
Openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism, yeah.
And also theory of mind, which is basically our ability to get that other people have their own thoughts, feelings, perspectives.
Our capacity for empathy, essentially.
And the study found that prolonged reading can actually enhance empathy, linking it directly to better theory of mind.
How so?
They suggest that by simulating characters' experiences in fiction, readers get a broader, more nuanced understanding of others' perspectives.
Ah, so you're stepping into someone else's shoes mentally.
Exactly. Even fictional ones.
That idea of mental simulation is interesting. Reading fiction makes our brains practice understanding others' emotions, beliefs, leading to more empathy.
The paper also looked at how reading boosts openness to experience.
By exposing us to new ideas.
New ideas, different perspectives, yeah. They even shared a story about someone who started reading nonfiction and became more open about acknowledging their own failures.
That's a compelling link. Engaging with varied topics through reading challenges our beliefs, makes us more receptive to new things, maybe even more honest with ourselves.
And it seems reading can also help with resilience, emotional stability, that neuroticism dimension.
How does that work?
The study suggests seeing characters navigate and overcome challenges in stories helps readers develop their own coping skills, more emotional resilience.
So, vicariously experiencing characters handling tough situations gives hope? Maybe model strategies?
It's like an emotional rehearsal, yeah.
Makes sense.
Interestingly, the study suggested the specific genre might not be the main driver of personality change.
Whoa.
Though they did note, self-help books were often reported to significantly impact empathy and resilience.
So maybe it's the act of reading, the engagement itself, that's more influential than the specific subject, though certain genres target specific things.
That seems to be the implication.
Yeah.
A nuanced but important point. The cognitive and emotional engagement seems key across different book types. The study even included some really powerful quotes from participants talking about reading, providing companionship, allowing them to forget my own self and live someone else's life, offering motivation and a sense of direction.
Those quotes really capture it, don't they? The many ways reading enriches us, not just knowledge, but emotional connection, practical guidance, too.
So bringing all this together, it's just really clear that books have this truly profound, multifaceted influence.
Yeah.
They can reshape how we see life, instill new values, even help shape our personalities.
Absolutely. And as all these diverse sources showed, the kinds of books that do this are incredibly broad. Fiction, memoir, business, philosophy.
Each offers a unique lens.
A unique lens to understand ourselves, others, the complex world around us.
This deep dive took us through personal stories from everyday readers, insights from super successful people, even academic research.
A real journey through the power of reading.
It really prompts you to consider which books have had the biggest impact on your life, and what was it about those stories, those ideas that stuck with you, led to real change? It's a fascinating question to mull over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Highlights that enduring, transformative power of reading for growth, for understanding ourselves and the world.